What's up, everybody? Special edition of College Sports Now coming your way for the next hour and a half because the whole gang has assembled. Roddy Jones, Michael Felder, Wayne Cook, and myself. We're in this very strange period between Christmas and New Year's. Not sure what day it is. There's all kinds of wine and cheese circulating through my body right now. I'm not healthy. I also haven't done a podcast in like 10 days, so hopefully I haven't forgotten how to do this. We are going to get into college football playoffs because we got games coming up on New Year's Eve and then, of course, on New Year's Day. So I want to start here, Roddy Jones, with you. You're in between Pop-Tarts and Cheez-Its in the bowl calendar. How was your Christmas? Just a quick mental health check. How are you feeling? I see you're at home, which is nice.
Yeah. Christmas was good. Pop-Tarts bowl was awesome. Came home for a couple of days. I thought I'd have a little bit more time, but I got to fly back tonight. And then, we got Cheez-It in a couple of days. Michigan, Texas. Who's playing? I don't know. I don't know if Michigan knows who's playing. I know Texas knows who's not playing. It's a lot of guys not playing. So, unfortunately, we got, on the second end of this, we get the opt-outs because we're not many in Georgia Tech BYU, and it made it an awesome game.
Yeah, I was reminded of that throughout the broadcast, that these were two college football playoff caliber teams that obviously fell short of their goal, and now they're duking it out.
They were in the race.
For the right to eat an edible mascot. Real quick, will Kyle Whittingham join the broadcast at the Citrus Cheez-It Bowl, yes or no?
I don't know. I don't know. We don't know yet.
Okay, I have questions. I have questions for Roddy. I have to ask you these questions because it was a great game, and I enjoyed the heck out of it. It was a great broadcast. Do you guys, and Felder, you can chime in here too, do you think that the style of coach, say a Kalani Sitake as an example, and there's a lot of them, and opt-outs are related and the brand of the school and the culture and all that stuff? You think any of that stuff, and this just popped into my head, I haven't given this deep thought, but do you think that relates at all?
Yes. Are you joking?
Well, I know the answer.
I think a little bit.
I want to hear what you guys say.
Yeah, I think it does some. Like Haynes King was always going to play in the game. I think that helps guys want to play in the game.
Yeah, and we'd have been shocked if he didn't, correct?
Correct. I think BYU's a little bit different because not a ton of guys that are looking at the NFL, they don't typically have a lot of transfers out. It's like those guys are sticking around for the most part. And I do think culture there plays into it, but those guys are also older. Like there is different value system at BYU.
Yep.
I think the teams that you see that have a lot of guys play, here's where I'm at. The teams that you see that have a lot of guys play probably have a lot of money tied up in guys playing in the bowl game. Like that's the realistic part of it.
Okay. Meaning it was a part of what they signed.
Basically, the contract you sign, there's a financial incentive to play in the bowl game.
So why? Yeah, and to me, I don't know why that's not a part of everybody's contract. I mean, it just feels like
I think it's becoming more standard. The question is, can you make it enough for guys to still stick around?
Yeah, right.
And usually the way that I've been told, the way it's structured is like basically you get 2 or 3 months worth of payments, or your last 2 or 3 months worth of payments after you play in the bowl game.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right.
Better, yeah. Good answer. I don't think the reason why I asked it, Felder, is because I want it to be articulated, because I don't think I had so many expectations of what was going to happen with NIL. Like I thought it was going to actually be NIL. I thought it was going to be contracts, so people had to play. I thought opt-outs were going to maybe not be as big of a deal because I thought people were going to be signing something that said they had to play. I kind of thought that, and then we've learned that there's so many ways to get out of this stuff. So I think people need to hear it. I really do, because I don't think people understand half the time what's going on.
So I think there's a couple different things. Roddy, 100% spot on with respect to like them building it into the contract. Wayne, the thing that my answer just to your original question is, I think culture matters a lot. And I don't know if you guys have seen the Cade Klubnik video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Crying at the podium.
Yep.
Where he's crying. I think culture matters.
Yep.
And I think
Didn't matter their wins and losses.
Wow. Just classic.
Just
Classic ACC, just boom, just drop it on.
Dude,
I'm saying
here's your Cade Klubnik stat of the day.
Huh?
Cade Klubnik lost 15 games in his Clemson career as a starting quarterback.
No, I
every
understand.
quarterback,
Look, I'm not talking about him going to the NFL, Roddy. I'm talking about him loving the program.
every quarterback that started from 2014 to 2022 at Clemson lost 14 games.
Combined.
Combined. Cade Klubnik lost 15.
Right. What I'm saying is that he loves his coach and he loves his program.
Yeah.
So that's why you don't see that opt-out. I'm just talking about loving the program.
You talk about that a lot, Felder.
And I probably would have been better with the opt-out.
It's unbelievable.
Roddy, all I'm saying is I think that if you are a coach, win or lose, if you're a coach and you can inspire kids to want – like I wrote about this, and this is the thing I think. I'd rather be here than anywhere else. I think that's what you have to have from a culture standpoint.
Right.
Not the money, not the money, not the girls, not the cars, not it. Just I'd rather be here than anywhere else. I think that is the most important part.
Look, I got to go back to I love this stuff. I got to go back to the Klubnik stuff because Roddy. I thought we were going to do a show earlier where we had this big group, and I was thinking about quarterbacks. Whether it's I don't care which one we talk about, it's so dependent, especially with a guy like Klubnik, for the team around you. When we judge quarterbacks, it's hard because who you play with. Look at Indiana and Ohio State and the receivers that they have. Look at what's happened to Ty Simpson and his receivers that can't catch the ball. Like, look, you know what I mean? Look, like all of this stuff has a huge impact.
Wayne.
Yeah.
Wayne and Roddy, have you guys noticed the amount of drops in college football?
Yeah. I've been lately. I've been seeing it in the Charger game too the other day. Like, holy cow, catch the ball.
Like these guys are dropping the ball at an insane rate. That Roddy, am I wrong?
Gloves with so much stick on it. I don't know how they do that.
No, I think the high profile guys that like Ryan Williams has had the dropsies this year.
Yes.
Are the drops up year over year? I don't know. I don't think so, but I do think like a Ryan Williams having the year that he has. Yes. I think so, that's probably true.
I want to finish this thought real quick because I think it's real important. I don't know if you guys went through this when you played, but where you had a year that was really good and then guys left, like for a running back, Roddy, offensive lineman, maybe you get a new quarterback, maybe your quarterback gets hurt. It changes how you perform. Which is why I think so many of these quarterbacks, like think about the quarterbacks that are playing in college football right now, and they talk about like Heisman winners, how many of them are transfers? And a lot of times it's because they're transferring to teams that kind of fit and have that talent around them, and they just kind of take that, Jaden Daniels at the other going to LSU or Michael Penix going to Washington or like going to the right fit. Even right now with Mendoza going to Indiana. I just think it matters. So I feel bad when quarterbacks like Klubnik fall apart, but it's not just him. It's just like running backs. So you can be a great running back, and then you're like, look at what happened with the running game for Penn State. It kind of got better at the end of the year once the coaching moves changed, but it's not always the player. It's a lot of times the surrounding cast, and it can not only hurt these guys, it kills their draft stock too in some cases.
Can I ask a question, Roddy? Just because you brought up the Klubnik stat, which is a good one, by the way. I was asked this over the holiday break. I'm not an ACC insider. I'm not talking to people on a daily basis in that league like you are. Is Dabo Swinney cooked?
This offseason will tell. I think if you do not see Clemson go out and get a high-level quarterback in the portal, it's the beginning of the end. Because I don't know how many people in that building believe in Chris Vezina. And I certainly know the fan base does not believe in Chris Vezina. And I don't know how you can roll into next year with Chris Vezina as the only option. Because, even off bona fides out of high school, he wasn't a guy that he wasn't Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
He might have been the level of Deshaun out of high school, but he's not Deshaun. He's not even the level of Cade coming out of high school. So does that mean he's not going to be great? No, not necessarily. But from the flashes that we've seen, there's no indication that he is the type of quarterback that you stand pat with in this era of college football. So if he doesn't go get one, then I think the writing's on the wall that this is probably going to end sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I only asked because Felder, you bring up a really good point about culture fit, which by the way, I think Michigan fans should be very excited about the culture fit that has arrived in Ann Arbor. Because that's not a hot take, right? Like Kyle Whittingham I think he's going to do very well there. You got to get some coordinators because Biff Poggi and what's my guy
Morgan Scally.
Wink Martindale, those guys are clowns. Let's move on from that. But Kyle Whittingham, culture fit, Michigan, you just dropped him off at Fresh Market or Whole Foods. He's shopping at a whole new grocery store now. I think that's it.
I'll not have the Biff Poggi slander. Biff Poggi's a fine man.
Guy's a joke.
He's not a joke. Oh. He's made millions of dollars in the private, hundreds of millions of dollars in the private sector. He's very successful. He's a great CEO. He was at Charlotte previously, so let's give the guy a little bit of grace there.
Kyle Whittingham. Here's the question, guys. When you're at Utah, and I watched him at Utah forever, he brought a ton of 3-star guys in and turned them into a team. It is and I've said this a million times, to be Nick Saban and to be Kirby Smart and to deal with nothing but 4- and 5-star guys. And by the way, Kirby's proven that he can do it. It's a totally different era too, but there is a way to do that with elite athletes. He's going to get better recruits. He's going to get more stars. I think his way, because I would argue he's probably fairly old school. I don't even like using that term because he's a great coach.
He's in his 60s. He looks great, by the way.
But this is
somebody who's in his 60s.
Michigan is a different animal than Utah. I still think he's going to succeed. I think it's a great hire, but it's a different animal than Utah.
Felder?
So
he's processing.
Anybody correct me if I'm no, it's not processing. I think about this with Chris Peterson going to Washington, right? You have to change your pitch. You have to change how you recruit. And that didn't even include the portal when we're talking about Chris Peterson. What we're talking about now is a guy who goes from, I'm going to give you a chance to play college football. I'm going to give you a shot to develop over a couple of years. No one that's going to Michigan they're not excited to get an offer. They're not excited to get to play college football. They are like, what can you do for me? Especially now with NIL. They're like, what can you do for me? How is your offer better than the Penn State offer? How is your offer better than the Ohio State offer? How is your offer better than any of these other offers? How is it better than Alabama? How is it better than Tennessee? How is it better than this? So you have to change what you do. At Utah, you're giving kids a chance. At Michigan, you have to build value. And we've talked about this before, but you have to find a way that this is the reason to come to this school. And so that's in recruiting, that's in the portal, but that's also in keeping kids at the school. Am I wrong about that? Because that's what I see here.
I watched that. I watched that a little bit. I think this is trickier than we all think. I watched this at UCLA. I think when you try to bring in the big-time talent and they're not character people, I don't care how good of a coach you are, you're not going to change what mom and dad have done for the first 18 years of their life like that much.
Right.
So, you got to be able to read. And I think Whittingham, I ran into Whittingham once in Maui at a taco shop with his family. It's the coolest thing. I'm like, hey, it's Kyle Whittingham. Hey, coach, how are you? I'm the sideline reporter for UCLA football. And we talked for 10 minutes. He's a great guy. And I think that he could have recruited 6 people in that taco shop that day. They would have been like, I'm in, let's go. And so, including me. So, I think that
so these
good programs, because you guys listen to Kirby Smart talk about football. And again, this is why I think probably one of the reasons that weighed into Roddy picking Georgia to win it all, which to me it's like there's 3 or 4 teams that I'm scratching my head because I'm not sure, but he's still preaching football. We'd love to play football. So is Signetti. They show up and play every single day. If you're a prima donna and you don't want to play, go away. We'll get someone else that will. And I still think that style works. And I don't think enough schools out there that I remember listening to a coach at UCLA one time, long time ago, and this person is well known and well heard, talking about, like, guys, I hope you don't want to transfer after they lost the game. I hope you don't want to leave. I'm like, ugh. I just sit there and go, that's disgusting. They need to get their ass chewed out right now and told that wasn't good enough, and let's play better. Let's get back to work tomorrow, instead of going, oh, I hope you don't leave. Like, that's just whippy. So I think Whittingham will be that guy. He's just going to have to find the right people to recruit. But I mean, how many schools are going to fall back into an upgrade, by the way?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
The concerns are legit, but I think Kyle Whittingham's going to be fine, because even if he builds Utah, if he builds Utah at Michigan, he'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Same level of recruit, same level of development. If he builds Utah, he'll win a lot of games in the Big Ten. He won't win a championship. He won't beat Ohio State, but he'll be fine. And so you would think with enhanced talent that he'll at least build like a slightly better version of Utah, even if you just get better quarterbacks. Like the rest of it is fine. He doesn't need better offensive linemen, because he's been putting out linemen for years. He had 2 first-round picks on that offensive line last year, and he will get those. And so that's the reason I think he'll be fine, because he'll recruit the 5-stars, but they won't have to play, because he'll also develop the 3-star guys into playable guys. So he's going to be fine. I think everything that we're talking about is more a Matt Campbell Penn State conversation than it is a Kyle Whittingham Michigan conversation. Yeah, because if Matt Campbell builds if he builds Iowa State at Penn State, he getting fired. He ain't gonna be there very long, because the guy before had him knocking on the door of a national championship. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing: Kyle Whittingham has won stuff with teams that were not as talented as Oregon.
Yep. Right.
Beat Oregon twice in the same year to win the Pac-12 championship. He has won things, whereas I think I like Matt Campbell a lot, but like Matt Campbell hadn't won anything. Right. Nothing.
Yeah.
So.
It's well said.
Roddy, you're spot on, dude. You're spot on, and that's why I love when we get to have these shows where we get to talk to each other and not just hear each other. It's very like that was a perfect, like, these guys are starting from the same spot, right? This is both of them. They're getting this upgrade job. Mm-hmm. And they're gonna have to run, and so we get to watch them in real time. How they pick up steps. That's gonna be the most. I think that's maybe the most interesting thing about the Big Ten, especially with knowing that you have Ohio State, who we're gonna talk about later. You have Oregon, who we'll talk about later, and obviously, we're going to have to go through some whatever the changes happen over the course of the time. So,
it was really fascinating being in the Pop-Tarts Bowl with the BYU staff, and I didn't get to talk to him. The first time I talked to him after Whittingham had been announced was on the field, so I was just talking to a couple of them, and I don't know if people quite realize, like, and it's hard to grasp, but the state of Utah as a football entity, and I'm talking about the whole state, it is so incestuous. And I say that lovingly, but like those guys all just rotate amongst the Utah schools. Like,
right.
All of the BYU staff has coached under Kyle Whittingham, just about. Kalani Sitake coached at Utah. Aaron Roderick coached at Utah for 12 years, the offensive coordinator. 12 years at Utah under Kyle Whittingham, like multiple staff members. Most of the time, when a BYU staffer has Power 4 experience and he's coming over to BYU, it's from Utah. And if it's not from Utah, then it's at Utah State, it's at Weber State, it is somewhere in the state of Utah because of the closeness of those the circle, the closeness of the church, like all of it. They know each other. So it was really interesting talking to them about Whittingham going to Michigan, because I'm like, hey man, how many of you guys are going to get calls? And the coach that I was talking to the most about it was like, yeah, there's going to be a bunch of us going to get, because we all know Whit. We've all coached under Whit. He was like, I think I think a lot of our defensive staff are going to get calls, and they're going to have to make decisions.
Interesting.
So I dated a swimmer in college. Do you guys, and what you were talking about, Roddy, it reminds me of something that is very real. Do you guys know about Swim Cest?
Oh boy.
I think I participated in some of that in college.
So it's that swimmers all day. Like we played football, right? There's no like counterpart to football. But swimmers,
rugby, some places.
I think I know where Felder's going with this, but continue, please.
Swimmers are together the whole time. And that's what it sounds like you're talking about with the state of Utah, whether it's Weber, whether it's Utah State, Utah, BYU. They're around each other all the time.
Probably used the wrong word to describe that. But it is.
I'm just saying, like, once you're around people for a long time,
well, you're
around them.
They just don't leave the state of Utah. Yeah. So like really good coaches, like Bronco Mendenhall leaving was a shock. Kyle Whittingham, how things went down at Utah, one word, but like those coaches all come from the same tree, like Kyle Whittingham and Lavelle Edwards. Like that is basically the entire coaching landscape of Utah is from one of those two.
Kyle coached under Urban Meyer way back in the day, and that was a model that Urban left and was ultra successful.
So. Right. Yeah, for sure. But like, if you were to trace the lineage of like most coaches from the state, it's from the Kyle Whittingham tree or the Lavelle Edwards tree, and Utah, a lot of times there's crossover.
The fan base in Utah, I've been to both BYU and Utah, is so underrated nationally.
Oh, they're awesome.
Oh, I think it's one of
those
the
two
top
stadiums
rivalries in football.
Yeah, but those two stadiums just on individual, with just being there. BYU is an awesome experience on game day, and so is Utah. They're incredible, whether they're playing each other or not. They're both stadiums that sell out every single game, just like they do in other places that love college football.
So I take that back because I said it came from two trees, Lavelle Edwards and Kyle Whittingham. They all just come from the Lavelle Edwards tree because Kyle Whittingham played for Lavelle Edwards.
Right.
So like all of those coaches are just from the Lavelle Edwards.
Yeah. Roddy, have you done a game out there?
Bunch of BYU. I've never done Utah.
Roddy's the Prince of Provo.
Awesome.
Yeah. He's the Prince of Provo. He went to the rare bookshop. Yeah, you didn't see the clip.
I was gonna like the views.
It is the most beautiful backdrop that I've been to, and that includes Colorado.
I'll also throw this out there, Felder. I know you're an experienced traveler. Salt Lake City, maybe the best domestic airport in the game, and I say that as an Atlanta native and somebody who has interacted quite a bit with Hartsfield, which I consider to be the GOAT of airports. Salt Lake City, bro, that place.
Nice. Nice.
Salt Lake City is nice, man. God, it's nice.
Nice airport.
It's very nice. All right,
Kansas City Airport is the nicest that I've been to.
I like Minneapolis.
Okay, all right.
Bro, you haven't been to the new Kansas City
I have not
Airport.
been to the new MCI. The old MCI was a horror show.
It was
a horror show. Okay, good.
The pours at Salt Lake City are mad weak. I will say that.
Wow. Okay,
dude. So they water down the beers. It's like the highest they can go is like 3.5% alcohol. So the beers are watered down.
I'm not wrong. Like,
you're not wrong.
I'm not in an airport to catch a buzz, man. I'm there to catch a flight. Okay, and sometimes it's anyway. Let's make the segue from the coaching talk to the on the field football talk.
Well, hey man, shout out to Miami. Roddy was right. Most dangerous team.
We're going in chronological order here. So yes, let's give Roddy a chance for a victory lap on Miami. It was not pretty.
Awesome.
But they won at.
This is the most dangerous team in the playoff.
I don't know if I agree with that, but Roddy, they did beat Texas A&M, and now they get Ohio State. They're a 9-point underdog on Wednesday. Is Miami still the most dangerous team in the college football playoff? What say you?
I mean, they're the most dangerous, like, large underdog. Like, I think they're more dangerous than Ole Miss. I think they're more dangerous than who else is? What's the other big underdog? Alabama. I think they're more dangerous than those two. They're not more dangerous than like Indiana and Ohio State. The issue with Miami right now is like, how are they going to move the ball this week?
Yeah.
273 yards of offense against an A&M defense that was the second worst scoring defense in the playoff.
103 yards from Carson Beck. I mean, listen, put a QB1.
Bro. Hey, they kept it in front of him. It's more than Marcel Reed could say.
Yep.
Kept it inside
That's
and in front.
very true.
Yep.
So I don't,
between the navigational.
The thing that was most telling about that game is Miami gets the ball back with 4 minutes and 1 second left on the clock on the 14-yard line, needing a field goal to tie the game. They handed the ball off 6 times.
Yes,
and scored a touchdown.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Now a lot of that, you get a 56-yard run on the first play, and like that helps. But Carson Beck did not throw the ball, and they were controlling it up front. They should have run the ball more over the course of that game. They did not. The thing is, Carson Beck's going to have to make plays against Ohio.
Well, Roddy,
that's something that Miami fans have been saying all year long.
Miami hasn't really been good running the football all year. I mean, that's something I look at their rush offense, and I'm skeptical. And they did so well in the game. It, like you said, it was still close. I also will throw out for a conversation, was Texas? Did we know enough about A&M? Like I know that these as big as these conferences are, you'd think by the end of the season we'd feel like we know a team.
Right.
But now we're really starting to. I don't feel like I'm 100% sure on Oregon.
Yeah,
I like
agree.
their stats.
Right.
I like the numbers, but I'm like the Indiana game at home. I like so these. I felt the same way about A&M. I actually think Miami's. They've got Notre Dame and A&M, right? They beat 2 SEC teams, and we know the SEC is amazing.
That's correct.
I'm actually pick up my tone there, Hartzell.
Steven's on the payroll. He wants to keep doing the SEC championship game.
State-run media.
But
that's correct.
It leads to misleading. It leads to We hear so much about that conference that when you throw in, well, Miami's beat 2 SEC teams, everybody goes, they have? Like, well, one of them was Florida, and Florida's good. Well, no, they weren't this year. They were terrible.
Right.
But they're in the SEC, so they're still good. So it affects the way people view these teams. But I like Miami. I do worry about them. Are they going to keep running the football? Because I think that matters. And Ohio State, last time I checked, they're the number 1 defense in the country. They're top 5 in both rush and pass defense. Number 1 in pass defense.
Is it possible that Ohio State's defense is so highly rated, though, Wayne? Because
again,
they
another
have
team
played
that hasn't played the toughest schedule.
Nobody.
But that's exactly right. That's my problem. How do we get this far and still have questions about that?
So,
although we like Indiana, and they just barely lost 13-10 in a game that they didn't have to win.
No, we don't like Indiana. We love Indiana. We'll get to the Hoosiers in a little bit.
They didn't have to win that game. So if you told me that Ohio State was going to win the Natty again, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I could see that.
Go ahead, Felder.
I have a question, and this is purely a football question for Wayne, and because Hartzell, you can't help us on this. For Wayne and for Roddy, when you watch Miami go into 7-man protections, right? So, how many? Let's talk through this for Steven. How many people are on the field for your offense?
11.
You get 11. So you're going to run a 7-man protection, right?
Yeah.
Carson Beck is person number 8, which means you only have 3 people in the route, right? And we just heard Kirk Cousins talk about it, your favorite quarterback, Steven.
Oh, God.
But you have a 3-man route, but the reality is, tell me if I'm wrong, Wayne, but the reality is that turns into a half-field read.
Well, it doesn't have to be with a 3-man route, but it can. You have to get I mean, the goal is to get 5 out. The problem is
right, exactly. The goal is to get 5 out.
When you do that, and this is the lost art of college football with video game playing offensive coordinators, the reason why we run half-field routes is to limit the reads. To say, hey, you have a high-low read over here, or you're going from this to this, and we make it simple, and then after that you take off and run, or whatever your thing is. The idea is that if these quarterbacks, and this is going to matter going forward, who can throw, because we have a lot of really good defenses, and I think good defenses and teams that are going to be able to run the ball are going to do well going forward. It's not like Indiana's pass offense is ranked in the top 10. They're like 40-something. And yet they have the quarterback that won the Heisman Trophy. But when you watch him and you watch San and you watch some of these other people, and they are so good at dealing with pressure and getting the ball out. You have to be able to throw your hot routes, your side adjust, whatever you want to call them. You have to be able to get the ball out quick. And it doesn't mean you have to complete every pass. You just can't take sacks. You can't take negative plays. Ty Simpson, to me, one of the problems I've had with him the last part of the year is he looks totally different when there's pressure.
Right.
When he has time, he looks so comfortable and so good. When he doesn't, I'm like, this guy is not the guy that looks like he wants to throw in a phone booth. He just doesn't look the same to me. So like I look at that. So if Miami's going to only have Carson Beck have 3 guys getting out against that secondary, they've got no chance.
Right. Felder, how often are you seeing Miami do that? Because I remember some, but I don't think it's what they live in.
I don't think they live in it when they're running the football, but I see it so much especially obviously on big downs. And I don't like you. I'm sure you've got like the extra thing that I don't have, which is like that back end. I have the back end for the NFL where I can look up individual scenarios. But when I see it, it's very obvious and it's clear. Like that's what I'm saying. And Roddy, you've worked in Max Protect, right?
Yeah.
Like your options are limited.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so
you tell me, if I'm seeing something wrong, you let me know.
Without doing the full study and breakdown, usually when they're in 11, they're able to get somebody out because Carson's been really good at checking the ball down, and that is something that I do think that has been a strength.
It's hard to check the ball down when you don't have when the running back's in the
is in the formation or is in the protection, but I think in that A&M game they tried to get the ball out of his hands quick to not take the negative plays and not expose their offensive line. I do think there was help throughout that. But again, I'd have to go back and check. The times where they have it more is when they've got 2 backs in the backfield, when they're in some sort of like 20 or 21 personnel, and they're not a big 21 personnel team, but they'll either go 11, which is 1 back, 1 tight end, or 20, 2 backs, no tight ends. And so sometimes when they're in 20, they will do it, but they're not a heavy 21 team. And usually the tight ends are not good blockers. So usually they're getting out, especially Elijah Lofton, who's in on those third downs. Like he's not a blocker, so usually he's getting out in the route.
Right.
But
I want to see them in 12.
Yeah. I think it takes a really good player. It takes a really good player off the field. And are you better with Elijah Lofton on the field at tight end or with Keelan Marion on the field at receiver? And so that's what I think. That's what I think.
This is the conversation that I want to have. These are the conversations I want to have. Because to me, Miami is at their best, I think, when they have 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, and 1 running back, and they make things happen fast.
Yeah, I think their best personnel group is 11 when they're able to run the ball. 11, and some of that's going to be with Malachi Toney on the perimeter, because I think Keelan Marion and C.J. Daniels give them enough. C.J. Daniels sort of the downfield guy that catches passes. Keelan Marion, the guy a little bit more dangerous after the catch, and I don't think they get enough out of those two tight ends. Like Ballman's fine, but Elijah Lofton is not a great blocker. He's not even super willing all the time. I don't love that. I do think their 20 personnel package is pretty good. Like I think they're able to do some things out of that can confuse you, especially as Gerard Pringle has continued to emerge. But I mean, their ability to run the ball with Mark Fletcher between the tackles was big in that game. Can they do it against Ohio State, against Caden McDonald, against Caden? What's the tight end? The defensive end's name. Caden Curry and Kenyatta Jackson. Those guys up front. Can they block them? And that's what Miami has to be able to hang their hat on. no matter what the personnel group is.
Can I ask a question? Since I can't contribute to the football analysis, I'm just going to ask questions. Are you guys more concerned about Miami blocking and protecting Carson Beck than you are if we flip this thing over and we've got Ohio State trying to deal with Bain and Mesidor? I'm asking.
I love Bain. I'll say this because I ran a lot of 3-receiver, 2-back sets in college, and you can leave
that
your
was
backs.
in 1980.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You can leave both backs in to block and have a very successful passing game if you have good receivers. And this is where I'm going with this. I had 2 All-Americans. So when you have Tate and you have Smith and you have the 2 of the best receivers in the country, and Indiana has the same problem with Surratt and
oh my goodness.
Yeah. No, catch in the back of the end zone. Why am I forgetting his name right now? But when you have that, I don't care. And you guys see it in the NFL. You see it wherever. You can try to stop Puka Nacua if you want to. You can bracket him. You can do whatever you want. He still gets open. And the good ones do that. And I think there's teams out there that have elite talent on the outside that you can afford to keep people into block. And those guys are still going to be able to get open even if you have – you're playing coverage. So I think that's a huge advantage for saying. I'm not saying Miami doesn't have athletes, but those 2 are special for Ohio State. And, I mean, as a quarterback, what are you going to do? Like, how are you going to play your coverage to stop these guys? It's Jeremiah Smith first, right? Well, we've watched the history of college football. That second receiver, if is really good, can have huge games. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't. So I think I would say that it's more important especially because I don't think that Miami's going to run the ball as well. I think Carson Beck being successful in this game is paramount. Like, he's going to have to be able to get the ball out and stay in front of the chains, and they've got to get first downs. They can't. I just think that's the key to the game. I think, but protecting Sayan is going to be huge. Because, look, they only scored 10 points against Indiana, and Miami's defense is legit, right? They can bring it.
I want to give Roddy his, Bain played a heck of a football game.
Well, I don't disagree with you. He was the second best defensive end for Miami against Texas A&M. Mesidor was awesome. And the kid Trey Zune. The kid Trey Zune, who was the one that said Ruben Bain wouldn't be a problem, he backed it up. He was Trey Zune did a great job against Ruben Bain. It was the other tackle that faltered consistently. It was the other tackle that let him down. And you can't write checks that he can't cash. But Trey Zune backed it up. Now he gave up a sack to Mesidor, but Mesidor was awesome. Mesidor was the reason for a lot of those Bain sacks, 2 of them at least.
Mesidor was great. Bain, I thought their defense, because here's the thing, we're talking about a college football game. Hartzell, what was the number on that game?
Ohio State is a 9.5-point favorite.
No. What
Miami.
Was the number on the A&M game? The over/under?
It was 49. Yeah, they were off
49?
by 35 points. Yeah. Tough.
Yeah. So I think both defenses stepped up and played good football. I think the offenses also made mistakes. Obviously, we saw that with Reed clearly, and so we're going to have to see Mesidor, Bain. They're going to have to play an amazing game.
Yes. Ahmad Moten is going to have to be great in the middle. Yeah.
That has to happen.
Do you guys think this is a blowout Wednesday night?
No.
I don't either.
Well, so I was just looking up the percentage, the pressure percentage for Indiana against Ohio State. Ohio, the reason Ohio State was not the normal what they were on offense because Indiana got after them up front, and it seemed like it was constant. 48% of the time, Julian Sayin was under pressure. 48%. Miami's got better individual players up front than Indiana does. So Miami should be able to get after Julian Sayin. What's the plan? How does Ryan Day calling the plays affect that? I think is big. How effective are they running the ball with Bo Jackson? And then can they get open against Miami's defensive backfield, which is not its strength but it's not its weakness.
It's not bad.
And they got some real players. Like Keontae Scott in the slot is in the nickel is a real player. Jacoby Thomas is a real player. Like those guys are going to play in the NFL. And the corners are good. OJ Frederick's young, but he's a good player. And they've got 3 of them that play for him. So that to me is sort of the question to your point, Stephen. Like, do we feel good about Ohio State protecting Julian Saint? The answer is no, because I think Miami's got a better offensive line than does Ohio State. And I think Miami's defensive line is better than what this Ohio State offensive line has seen.
And I think it's a team that's got a little swagger, right? I don't think you can discount that after what they did at A&M. Go ahead, Wayne.
Well, no, I was going to say what's interesting to watch, and this is something that Felder and I talked about last time we talked, and I talk about this with Phil Steele all the time. Like, these two teams, Ohio State, they're not great running teams. They're both have elite rush defenses. So it's like we're narrowing this down to, and like you said, Roddy, it's not like Miami's pass defense. Ohio State's number 1, but Ohio State's like Miami's like in the 30s. I mean, they're solid. And a lot of that comes down to who they played, right? And how many good quarterbacks they played and all that stuff. Like those stats can be misleading. So this is like almost like I think a great matchup. I agree with everything you said because the defense of Miami can make Saint uncomfortable, and it just feels like I don't think either one of these teams is going to be successful running the football. I think they're both going to struggle there. And if one of them does have a game on the ground, it's probably the team that's going to win. Otherwise, it's going to come down to the passing game. And that's why I brought up the receivers of Ohio State, because I think they have an advantage there. But if your quarterback's on his ass the whole game, right, or being harassed, because how many games do we watch? I mentioned this with Simpson earlier. How many games have we watched when if you give these quarterbacks, if you give Julian Saint time to throw, he was completing 80% of his passes. Sure. That's like dumb, you guys. Right. That's like most high school kids in America could go out and run all their plays against the air and not complete 80% of their passes. Like that's how hard that is. And I'm not kidding. Him and Mendoza both will throw passes that are dangerous because they have so much confidence in the way they throw. And they're so accurate. I watched at least in person from both of those quarterbacks 10 passes that were thrown that you're like, if the DB just gets his head around, they could make a play on it. But they're so confident in the way they throw, and they're willing to put it in there, and they trust their receivers. So that to me is the key to the game. I think that the passing game for Ohio State is just a bit better. But as you pointed out, Roddy, if the front of Miami is on and they make the game real nasty, who knows? Because that leads to turnovers.
Mm-hmm. So when you saw Ohio State in person and you saw them late enough to where this is, I think, applicable, what is the scariest part of that team seeing them in person, and what is the part that you feel like maybe not they're vulnerable, but it may be overrated where they could be gotten?
Well, I think that you mentioned it. If their protection breaks down, I think and they're not a good running team, which tells me that they're. And again, when I say they're not a good running team, I think they're ranked like 60 something in the country. I mean, that's for Ohio State. Come on, Miami's in the 70s with rush offense. I mean, those are not good. There's a lot of teams, but when you throw the ball as well as they do, and you have the talent on the outside, and they run the ball enough to keep you honest. But I will say this forever. Until the day I die, Caleb Downs is the guy.
Thank you.
He's the guy that I worry about. Like,
thank you.
He's so good, you guys, that you sometimes forget because they use him in so many different ways. But he's all over the field, and it affects everything you do. And if you're Carson Beck, you have to know where Caleb Downs is. It's almost like find him first, because it's going to be difficult. So I would argue that if they become one-dimensional, Roddy, to answer your question, and they have to throw the ball constantly, obviously they've proven to be good at it, but I would like to see what they're going to do against Miami's defense. Like, you want to make them one-dimensional.
For sure.
Make it be that way, and if you can do that, I think that's their weakness.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love that. Thank you for bringing up Downs, and because that's who I was going to bring up when you said who's the Caleb Downs is everywhere on that field. Then you throw in, what is it, Igbinosun,
yeah.
Did I say what? Igbinosun, yeah. Like, he's also an absolute, like, what He's such a good player. So then you got a guy named Styles. Come on, let's do it.
Well, Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese, like those two dudes at the linebacker position. You got 2 first-rounders at linebacker. You've got you mentioned Caleb Downs. Davis Igbinosun is going to be an NFL player on the back end. Lorenzo Styles at the safety position. Like they're loaded. They're loaded. Caden McDonald up front. Like you can't move their tackles. They're loaded. And so Carson Beck and that Miami offense, you gotta keep it in front of you. Like you cannot have the turnovers. You cannot have a ton of negative plays. Right. You got to give your defense breaks. Find some ways to move the ball.
Yeah. Roddy, you gonna call it? I mean, you called it last week.
Are we making?
No, I think I'd pick Ohio State.
Okay, all right, just checking. Just checking.
You just said it though. That number, we're going to move on. But that defense, it's so hard to find a defense in Ohio State. The weakness in their defense, really hard.
Again, like I want to emphasize, they have a first rounder at every single level of the defense.
It's ridiculous.
Yes. And then the rest, the other. So they've got 4 of them. The other 7 guys are all probably going to play in the NFL.
Yeah. But yet they gave up plays to Indiana late in that game that led to Indiana winning.
Yeah, I mean they're not infallible, but
so you can do it. Carson, by the way, Carson Beck doesn't have to be perfect in this game. You said it. Keep the ball in front of you. Don't turn the ball over. Don't take sacks. Throw the ball away. I don't care if you throw 49% for the game. Make enough plays to win. Like if you're in that game, if you get in that dogfight, I mean, you just can't. You can't be. You have to be secure with the football. In this game, you have to be, and that goes for saying too.
Yeah.
Well, can I ask a question before we move on to the next game? Which coach do we trust more?
Well, I'm going to go Ryan Day there.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm going to go Ryan Day.
Okay.
I feel bad for picking on Mario Cristobal as much as I do.
Why? He's earned this, Wayne. This is a lifetime achievement.
Did you see him with his kids after the game? It was a cool moment.
Man, we all got kids, man. That's great. I mean, so what? The guy's a bad
I've been picking
manager.
on Cristobal ever since he had Justin Herbert at Oregon, and I watched them run an offense that didn't even come close to utilizing his talent. I've been like, what are you doing, Mario? So, like, Carson Beck, and by the way, before we move on, another quarterback that's won a heck of a lot of football games in college and played on some big stages that gets no love at all.
Well, I don't want to take it there. He has also played a role in how he's perceived by teammates and others. But I want to go. Let's go to the Orange Bowl. This is New Year's Day, noon kick, Oregon, Texas Tech. Now, listen, the get-in price for this game, guys, without looking, do you want to guess? You want to guess what it costs to go to Hard Rock to see Texas Tech and Oregon hook up at noon on New Year's Day? Just throw a number out there.
$175.
That's way too much.
I'm gonna say $85.
Wayne, I know you're in California. Everything's expensive. It's $10 for a gallon of gas out there.
$75.
$50 get you into Hard Rock.
Wow.
For Texas Tech and Oregon.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's the get-in price. It's kind of sad, honestly. Oregon is a favorite in this game of 2.5 points. I got to be honest. Obviously, I watched the Oregon first-round game against JMU, who I'm still very proud of. I mean, the takes coming out of that opening round were just so bad. But
why were they bad?
I loved it, and thank you. By the way.
Because hey, it's blowouts. Nobody wants to see this. These college football hipsters need to go back into the basement and like blog some more. You have no business being here. It's like, okay, like whatever, man. There's blowouts everywhere. Like I can't help you, man. I really can't.
So your take is that there's blowouts everywhere, so it's fine if they happen in the first round.
My take is don't blame JMU and Tulane for getting in. We don't need to rehash this. They didn't do anything wrong. The system is the system.
No one's saying they did anything wrong, but everyone's saying, hey, look, the system is the system. We need to change the system so that we don't have this. And are you against that? Because that's my thing. Like we and I said this before. We graded Tulane and JMU on a curve. Like we said, hey, look, these teams have to be excellent to get in. These 10 teams have to be excellent, but you two can be fine on your level. Again, JMU played one team that was in the Power Four, one team in the top 50 of whatever metric you want to find in terms of ranking teams, and they lost. And we let them in the playoff. Like that is not a system. That is not a path that should be rewarded in any way, shape, or form. Just because you want a league that had Count them up. Count up the number of teams that JMU played that had a winning record. It was three the entire season. And we let that team in the playoff. We heavily graded them on a curve. And so that, to me, is the issue. It's not the blowouts. It's the fact that we accepted mediocrity to let a team into the playoff.
Just to clarify, when you say we, hang on, just to clarify, when you say we, you're talking about college sports, college football commissioner. You're talking about commissioners of leagues. That's the we here, the people who created this thing. ESPN, Notre Dame's athletic director who was sobbing because they got left out. All the conference commissioners. That's the we here, just to clarify. It's not me and you and Wayne and Felder. It's the most powerful people in the sport.
It's the entire system that allowed it is the we. Like the we is doing a lot of work.
Okay.
I'm not talking
clarify.
about the people, I'm not talking about the people that instituted the system. The system got stress tested this year in a way that they did not foresee, which is on them. It's also the tiebreaker rules got stress tested in a way that we could not foresee, which the ACC is taking a lot of heat for this. The ACC has the same tiebreakers as all the other Power Four. All of them have the same ones. The ACC just got stress tested in a way
with their pants down.
That was on. Well, but any of them could have. It could have happened to anybody.
Exactly.
The thing is, the ACC is the coastal division.
Hey, but I want to, as a teacher, we're talking about grading on a curve. I would also argue, as someone that's graded a lot of writing responses, that when I see the name on a paper and I know that kid always does an amazing job, I don't have to try as hard because they always turn in great work. It's like easier to grade. Like sometimes I think when we evaluate BYU, we're like, oh, they play in a Big 12. And,
Wayne, you're talking about biases here. You're talking about preconceived biases.
I'm always talking about biases because I mentioned it when I was sliding the SEC a little bit earlier. Like we start anointing the Missouris of the world with our horribly easy schedule. Tennessee for half the year was good. Where did Tennessee go? They're not even in the top 25. Like we put these teams on a pedestal early, and it affects the whole thing. It affects how you evaluate wins and losses. And, remember Florida and South Carolina, they had two of the best quarterbacks in the country, and they were going to be amazing this year. They sucked, okay? Like the idea is that some of these teams, like the way we evaluate, it's like seeing the name on the top of the paper and going, this is an A-plus student. I mean, come on. They don't ever make mistakes. I use them as an example. So now, granted, that hurt Notre Dame for some reason because Notre Dame, you would think, you'd see that name and go, oh. But then there was Alabama on the list too. So now you're going, okay, now I have to look at these a little bit more closer. So I'm just saying that, like, we don't always just do that with the group because I'm not disagreeing with Roddy. JMU, and again, trust me, I'm fired up by what they're doing because we're taking their coaching staff at UCLA, and I'm actually really excited about that. But the idea is like Tulane and JMU, if you would have asked Vegas if they played Notre Dame, if they played Texas, what would the spread be? And it would be 15, 20. I mean, they wouldn't be favored. So I get what you're saying. Like we didn't put the best teams in. But at the same time, we also deal with the fact that the ACC, and Roddy, you deal with this, the ACC and the Big 12 are not going to get the same. They're not going to just get the people that are choosing aren't just going to give them anything. It's going to be the Big 10 and the SEC first. And let's be honest, it's the SEC first and then the Big 10. And I know, Roddy, you said it, and I agree. The Big 10, after the top 4 or 5 this year, was kind of crappy. Like the Big Ten did the same thing with teams like Nebraska. Nebraska sucked. They gave their quarterback, their coach, like a huge contract for what? For being completely mediocre again.
Look at who Nebraska beat. Like Nebraska beat nobody.
Nobody. They were horrible, and yet those conferences have a way of building up their mediocre teams and making them seem better than they really are.
The SEC is better at it than they like. Truly, they're better at. I'm not saying they're better at football.
At what specifically? Marketing?
Yes. I'm saying they're better at creating this image that works to get them to where they want to be.
Gee, I wonder why. I wonder what the component is that they have that the Big Ten doesn't have. I wonder what that is. I'm thinking.
I don't know. You tell me.
It's ESPN. It's Disney. They're better at that. Like Fox did not promote the Big Ten championship game. You had number 1 versus number 2. It was like it wasn't even happening. It was like it was happening, but nobody knew it was happening because you had no way of knowing. Because there's anyway. I'm gonna
we got to move on. I will say before we move on to the next game though, but the team. I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but I really kind of want Ole Miss to keep winning.
It's not going to happen.
I would love it. I would love it if they keep winning. I just think that'd be the greatest story ever for them to keep going and keep winning.
Would it be a better story than Lane Kiffin bringing home a basket from the store?
I have so many opinions about this, but this is a Lane Kiffin free show. I'm not giving that guy any more platforms than he has. I'm going to get us back on track with Oregon, Texas Tech. Here's my question for the group, because again, I'm just here to ask questions. I didn't play football. Oregon's defense concerns me, guys. Not just because JMU put up over 500 yards of offense and 34 points.
Yeah, but mostly in the second half.
But mostly because they did that.
They did.
JMU,
Texas Tech.
There are a lot of missed opportunities for JMU. That game could have been closer than it was, just to be fair.
Well, I mean, it was 34-6 at halftime.
As a person that was watching that game, and again, I kind of agree with Roddy. I think JMU was going to be overmatched, but I was extremely impressed with the offensive coordinator and the way they came out. And if you guys watched the first couple series from JMU, they had opportunities, and they kind of had Oregon kind of going, what are they? There was a lot of different formations. There was a lot of stuff going on. But once Oregon settled down and said, well, we have better athletes than you do.
Yes,
the game was going to be over. And the way Oregon runs the football is going to matter. It's a good thing for them.
All right.
So again, my question here is Texas Tech's offense against Oregon's defense. Like, is Texas Tech capable of doing what we saw JMU do against, granted, Oregon's second stringers?
Oregon's defense is top 10 in the country at the end of the season.
Yeah. I think the concerns about Oregon. I think the concerns about Oregon defensively. I think a lot of what we saw with Oregon was them looking at JMU and treating it as if it was a game in the beginning of September as a preseason game, because that's what it was to them. Like
playing with their
one of the things that you can't do when you turn on the film is lie to people. Like, hey guys, these guys are really good. Like you're going to have to take them seriously. Then you turn on the film and they're playing in a high school stadium against Louisiana Lafayette and struggling to block them. And these Oregon dudes are like, come on, bro. Like, why are you even showing me this? Like and then now all these guys have iPads and you track how much they watch them, and they're watching the clips and they're thinking, oh, for 3 weeks we're going to crush these dudes. And here's the thing, they did.
They did early. Yeah.
Now they gave up yardage, but if your offense is scoring in 5 plays and on their first 5 possessions, there's going to be a lack of focus. So I can forgive Oregon for some malaise in this game, because it's hard to get guys really focused on a playoff game when they're looking at this the same way they looked at Portland State to start the year.
Right.
Damn, I'm not dragging the show into I'm not doing this.
Look, Steven, you can get upset about it, but I'm telling you the way a Division I football player who starts for Oregon that's going to play in the National Football League looks at a team from the Sun Belt who played nobody. Like, you turn on the film and you're just like, man, it doesn't look like Indiana did. It doesn't look like Ohio State did. It doesn't look like all the guys that we played against this year did. All I'm
calling out here, Roddy, all I'm calling out before we go back to breaking down Texas Tech and Oregon is that you want it to be strictly that way. And there's no hat tip, there is no acknowledgement of what the other team did. I'm talking about the 500 yards of offense, the 34 points. Like, that doesn't count. Like, you're only saying that it counts because Oregon was like, nah, we good.
Yes.
Let's get ready for Miami.
I think if Oregon played up, if Oregon had gone out there and treated this like a real game, this game would have been 70-0.
They did. It was 34-6 at halftime. I was very impressed, thoroughly impressed.
It looked like what Ohio State did to Oregon at the beginning last year. It was just dominated by Oregon. The offense looked unstoppable. They took their foot off the gas. We have to admit that. Now,
so which Oregon are we getting on New Year's Day? That's my question here.
The team that
the
played
one
in the
that
first
cares.
half. Yeah.
And can we
go ahead,
can
Felder.
we talk about Texas Tech?
Yeah.
They are participating in this game. Yes.
Like I love Joey McGuire. 1, 2. I love Dan Lanning. I think this is the best coaching matchup that we're going to have. Can Texas Tech, can their offense be what they've been against this Oregon defense? I think that's the question that we have to ask.
So Felder, this is cool about. Go ahead.
I look at Texas Tech's offense, and they are probably the one unit that I have the lead that I think is the most variance. There's the most variance on what you could get because they're so reliant on big plays, and they're bad in the red zone, and they have been all year long on both of those things. Darren Morton's fine. If they can run the ball, then I think that they are more dangerous. Those receivers are big and they make plays, but they are really reliant on that. So, I think if Texas Tech wins this game, it's going to be sort of the thing that they've done all year long. It's defense creating turnovers, putting them in great positions, giving the offense a lot of bites at the apple, because I don't think this offense is going to have a ton of success against Oregon's defense.
Yeah, well, this is Texas Tech is one of those teams that when you look, and I think Oregon's this way too, when you look at all of these teams, like what they're good at and bad at, they're statistically solid everywhere. Like, I get what you're saying with them being inconsistent, but they're good on offense. They're good. They run the ball. They throw the ball. They play defense. I mean, Texas Tech's rush defense is elite, right? But and then you break it down a little bit further, and who did Texas Tech beat? Because we all go down that road, right? Well, they beat Utah at Utah. Like, at Utah. Houston was really good this year. They won at Houston, and they beat BYU twice. Like, again, you could debate whether or not those teams are elite or not if you want to. Those are really good wins. And I'm telling you, it's not easy to beat Utah at Utah. So you're battle tested. So I don't know, man. I this game to me is probably the hardest one to pick. I get what you're saying though, Roddy, because like, listen, like, if you're reliant upon for big plays against an Oregon, and you're not good in the red zone,
that's the thing that Dan Lanning does not let happen.
Yeah. So I was going to say that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, these two teams are the first and second teams in the country in terms of creating explosive plays. Oregon's number 1 in the country in 20-plus yard plays. Texas Tech is tied for number 2 with North Texas, who obviously played in the bowl game and has that. Ironically enough, James Madison number 3, or number 4 technically because they're tied. So the big plays are going to be a part of it. I look at Texas Tech throughout the season, and I find their offense, or I feel like their offense is just more reliant on it, because without it, they have not been as consistent as like an Oregon offense. So I don't know, man. I don't think they've played a defensive line like Oregon's. That's the other thing.
So, Roddy, I got a number for you. Texas Tech is number 2 in the country in red zone attempts, plays inside the red zone. They have 64 scores, but this is the number, and I think this is what you were getting at in terms of red zone failures. They have only 41 touchdowns out of 73 red zone trips.
Yeah.
23 field goals. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. Texas Tech is 96th in the country in red zone touchdown percentage. So
bingo.
Trips to the red zone versus touchdowns in the red zone.
Right.
Like, how many of your trips end up in touchdowns? They are 96th in the country, just over 50%. That's down around Virginia and Kennesaw State. That's not good. And you can see it in the Big 12 championship game. Big 12 champion. Now, BYU is excellent in the red zone, not allowing people to score. But one trip in the red zone for Texas Tech, 5 trips in the red zone, 1 touchdown for Texas Tech last week, or against in the Big 12 championship game.
This is interesting too, because we talked about this earlier. Like,
96.
What do we really know?
Yes, Virginia and Kennesaw State, baby.
What do we really know about Oregon? So Oregon had Indiana come to their house, and they lost 30-20. So that's a big game. There are other wins, you guys. They went on the road and beat Iowa, who's a ranked team, 18-16. You remember that was the great Dante Moore pass down the sideline. And their other big win was not, counting a top 25 JMU, was USC. And I'm sorry, but USC's, they get more hype than they deserve. They're just they're a good team.
We can go all day on Lincoln Riley, baby.
But I think the Texas Tech beating Utah 34-10. That's kind of similar to going to play at Iowa, I guess. And it was 18-16. I mean, I don't like doing this where I'm comparing games, but I almost feel like Texas Tech has a better resume than Oregon does. I probably would lean a little bit, but I don't know how much. Like, if you guys can answer this one, which team has more talent? I mean, we've talked a lot in the offseason about what Texas Tech has done with the money that they have, right? I don't know if it's comparable to what Oregon has, but I would probably say Oregon has more overall talent. But
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, defensive line wise,
I like the resume of Texas Tech quite a bit. I mean, this is a hard. The reason why this number is so damn low is because this is a hard game to pick. Like, I feel like, Roddy, I feel like you're leaning towards Oregon, and I probably am too. I can't tell what you're leaning on. Maybe Texas Tech, Felder, but this is a tough game to pick, man.
I will like watching that BYU Texas Tech games and having seen Texas Tech a little bit.
29-7, 34-7. Like, they're not just winning these games; they're kicking ass.
So it's a 13-6 game with 4 minutes left in the third quarter. That was, and then BYU throws an interception. One play later, they score. They go 3 and out. They score, and then it's out of control. The thing that stood out though was that Lee Hunter in the middle, big old number 2 for Texas Tech, is unblockable. Like that dude is a mountain of a man that's really tough to deal with. So if Oregon cannot deal with that, they're going to have trouble because Romello Height, David Bailey are tremendous rushing.
I love Ben Roberts.
And Ben Roberts gets overshadowed by Jacob Rodriguez, but Ben Roberts has been great as well. Mm-hmm. The secondary will be tested more than they have been, but will that matter when you've got the front that Texas Tech does? It is tough to pick, Wayne. I don't
know.
Hartzell,
you can talk yourself into either one.
At the end.
Well, Rod Stradamus went 3-1 with the first round games, but he was picking against the spread. So yes, we will ask for some selections on our way out the door. 100%.
One of the things that I did, you guys, I did it, best rushing teams, passing teams, rushing defense, passing defenses. And one of the advantages that I like about for Indiana and Oregon, they're the 2 best rushing teams left. But, and there's always a huge but, is that Texas Tech is elite. You talked about their front. I mean, they're elite against stopping the run. So now does it turn into and listen, Dante Moore has been solid. But it's not like Oregon hangs their hat on their passing game. Right. So it might come down to is Dante going to be clean, or is he going to throw an interception or two, or have a fumble? Because I like Dante Moore a lot. I really love watching him play. He's like fun to watch play football. But they also use their running game and play action, and they do a lot of things that rely on that. If they have to be a throwing team only, I don't think Dante's going to be as good. I don't think that's the type of offense they run. So, it'll be interesting to see if Tech can make them one-dimensional.
I want to go to the Rose Bowl. I want the granddaddy of them all, Wayne. You will be there, okay? You'll be outside the lot doing your show. I'm assuming that you've got some tickets to go inside the venue and watch Indiana and Alabama.
We'll see.
The resale value, just for a baseline here, I got $172 is the get-in price. I know your tickets are better than that, Wayne, so I think you could probably get a little more. Here's what I'm going to throw out there. This is a 4:00 kick. Indiana, 7-point favorite against Alabama. I have a theory on this game. I'm just going to throw it out there. You tell me if I'm crazy. I think the Hoosiers are going to beat the hell out of Alabama in this game. I don't think this is good. I don't think this is competitive. I don't.
Wow.
Now,
why? Why don't you think this is competitive? Do you think Alabama sucks?
I think Alabama is smoke and mirrors. I think they are a helmet. I think they are a brand. It's not that they don't deserve to be here. That's not what I'm saying. They won in Oklahoma. Give them credit for that. That thing was 17-0. It could have gotten out of hand. Could have been 24-0. Probably should have. Dropped pass. And then, just a waterfall of bad shit going the way of OU.
Wow. We've gone this long
said,
without that.
That being said.
I didn't make us earn it.
I think Indiana's going to come out here and make a statement against Alabama.
So what game would you point to as your proof of concept that Indiana is even capable of making a statement against a good team? At Oregon would be the one. They only had.
Well, they beat Ohio State 13-10. But
they only had 326 yards of offense against Oregon.
Yeah.
Like it's not like offensively they were a juggernaut against Oregon.
Nope.
Alabama defensively is pretty good. Maybe
Alabama's rushing offense is atrocious.
It's not good.
Makes them
and that's the thing.
Bad.
119th in the country.
But in terms of quarterback play mixed with receiver play, like I think Alabama stands up there with anybody. I think offensive line wise, that Alabama offensive line is a tick better than Ohio State's. I think defensively, I just don't know. I don't disagree with like if you say Indiana wins, yeah, sure. Indiana boat races them. What the Ohio State scoreline says that to you. The Iowa scoreline says that to you. The Oregon one is the one, but the rest of the schedule, like you look at the teams that are most comparable to Alabama.
Sure.
And it's been 2 out of 3 of them been close games. And Iowa's not even comparable to Alabama.
Indiana's been banged up. They've had 3 weeks to get healthy. I hear you on Alabama. I hear you on like they're good at they're very good at certain positions. But I think we are inflating Ty Simpson at this point in the game. I don't think he is what he was back in September and October.
I don't think anybody's
inflating. Did you watch the first round? Did you see the first round playoff game?
I did. But here's the difference, Roddy. The difference is Oklahoma stopped. Like they went into a shell in the second quarter. They stopped. I don't want to say that. Like mentally, I'm not sure what was going on there.
You think Oklahoma was just like, all right, we're going to let Ty play. We're going.
No, I don't think Indiana's not. Indiana
we don't want to win this game.
Indiana's not capable of stopping.
We don't like playing football anymore.
It's not that they didn't want to. It's not that they didn't want to, but you could see them. You could see them getting tight. They dropped the pass. The thing could have been 24-0. You could see it. Come on, man. That pick six.
Yes,
seriously.
The running back with the knee brace down the field, dropping the pass, wasn't Oklahoma taking the foot off the gas. It's a guy who's not in that position very often, not making a play. Alabama also had some drop passes down the field.
Sure,
they had many of them.
They did.
It was a sloppy game from that standpoint. I don't know, man. Like your Ty Simpson slander, I don't know if I can stand for that.
So here's what's fun,
awesome
in
the last 3 quarters of that game against Oklahoma.
After the start. So here's the only thing I'm going to say about Ty Simpson, because I've been high on him all year. A little bit less down the stretch, but the only thing I'm going to say is if you can make him extremely uncomfortable in the pocket, and again, sure. Oklahoma. I think he's a little bit more. He looks a little. Sometimes I just read quarterbacks' facial expressions. Seems like he can be flustered a bit. But you're right, Roddy. I mean, he did everything he had to do in that game to get that win. But I'm telling you now, I have not seen Alabama up close and personal this year. Indiana is impressive. Like they're impressive. Like Cooper and Surratt are really freaking good. They block well. They run well. Defensively,
I like the other kid too.
Solid. Yeah, no, you're right. The number 80, Smith.
Becker.
Really, Becker. You're right, Becker. He makes big plays because those receivers were hurt. He makes big plays too. So, and they have a quarterback that is playing at a high level. But I just think about this. It's hard to win in the playoffs, Roddy. You're a running back. Alabama doesn't run the ball. I get it. Kalen DeBoer, I get it. But like, I don't think you win this game if you just try and throw the whole. I just don't see it. I think I like Indiana too. I don't know if it's by 21 or whatever Hartzell's saying, but I think Indiana's a more complete team.
I completely agree. I just don't think like Indiana is going to roll Alabama. I don't see that as a thing that's.
I think 7's a decent
likely
number.
to happen.
I mean, look, I think this is one of those inflection points. I'm not saying Alabama's like on the way down as a program. I'm not saying that. Although it is interesting because like Michigan fans were feeling really good about Oklahoma, Alabama in the first half when it's 17-0 because they're like, Kalen DeBoer's our guy. Like we're going to get his ass to Ann Arbor. And then obviously the comeback is on. You end up with Kyle Whittingham. That'll be an interesting thing just to kind of keep track of over the next couple of years. But But I think this is one of those games. Like Alabama is a touchdown underdog. Think about the number of times that's happened in modern college football. I went back and looked. Not very often.
Yeah.
2008 against Florida. That was the Tim Tebow, Urban Meyer, Florida. They lost that game. They were a 10-point underdog.
Yeah.
That's it. Like 2021 SEC championship game, they're like a 5-6 point dog to Georgia. They won that game. But this is rarefied air.
Well,
I don't know.
But remember that Alabama is a team. I know they lost to Georgia in the championship, but they beat Georgia too at Georgia. So they have the guys to be able to win a game like that. So you never know. I feel like Alabama's inconsistent when I watch them.
My boldest take of this show, and maybe of the year, because we only got 2 days left in the year, is that Indiana is going to win this game by 3 scores. That's it. I'm putting it out there. And Roddy, I see the distaste.
Go, Roddy. Go.
The distaste, just the overall, just, like you're disgusted by this take.
It's just reckless. It's just reckless. It just is. Like, it's disrespectful and it's reckless is what it is. I like this Indiana team. I think they are the best team in the country. But
doesn't mean they're going to win. Yeah.
Well, it's not even that. It doesn't mean they're going to win. It's just like the difference between the best team in the country and Alabama is not very much. This is a team that needed a miraculous last-minute drive at Penn State to win. Penn State just was celebrating a win over Clemson in the freaking Pinstripe Bowl.
Every team in the country has that game. Like, I hear you, man. I get that.
But you don't pick every team in the country to beat Alabama by 3 scores.
That's correct. It's true. I am picking this one.
You wouldn't even pick Georgia to beat them by 3 scores.
No, it's a conference game.
Like, at Iowa. Iowa's a tough place to play. I mean, sure, okay. It's a fine Iowa team. But at Iowa, they play a close game. The Oregon game, again, is the outlier when it comes to, like, playing good teams and blowing them out. Like, that's it. So I don't know why all of a sudden they're going to play a good team and blow them out when all anyone has been telling this team the last month is how awesome they are. Oh, you're so good. You guys are the number 1 seed. You can say all you want about Curt Cignetti, and I will tell you about human psychology. Fernando Mendoza raised the Heisman Trophy. Everybody is celebrating how great a season this team has had. That typically does not go well for teams that are not used to it.
They've already accomplished more than anyone thought they ever could.
Facts.
They've already done it.
Yes.
They were in the playoff last year.
Alabama is hearing people like you talk like this for
no
2 weeks.
No one cares what I have to say.
Ty Simpson just came out and said no one thought we were going to make the playoff. Freaking Alabama. It's the Kirby Smart thing. Like, no, everybody doubted us. But this time everybody actually is, because people are saying reckless stuff like that to you.
3 scores.
Or like you did.
3 scores.
It's ridiculous, Stephen. It is reckless.
We get Indiana by 20.
There is no way that Deontay Lawson, was it Dijon Lee? Like, there's no way that they let this happen.
Is anybody picking Bama on the show? Just to check.
I am.
Against the spread or straight up?
Either, both, whatever.
I'll take them against the spread. Yeah.
All right, we'll get to Roger a little bit later. Felder, you like Bama straight up?
Yeah, are we gonna do That's My Dog? Can we finish this last game and then we can do That's My Dog?
I just wanted to check the pulse of the CSN family here, because everybody's saying that I'm giving reckless takes, and yet nobody's jumping to pick Alabama here except for Felder. So,
dude, the only thing reckless about your take is 3 scores.
3 scores. I think it's a close game. I think what we're talking about is a game that's going to be a 1-score game.
It'll be close for a little while. It'll be close for a little while.
The only take that you've given that's worse than that one in the last 10 years is your Nebraska take.
The Nebraska take, that cost me a Justin Bieber.
Dude, it should cost you a Justin Bieber for every year they don't meet the expectations that you set out 8 years ago.
It's a high bar. It's a high bar for Nebraska football. They'll get back.
I like the psychology part of it, because you're right. Like, Indiana's dealing with, you're the best. Right, we listened to Saban and Kirby deal with this for many, many years. Like, when you're the like rat poison, right? All the don't listen. I actually think that if you look at the Ohio State championship game that they won, Signetti has enough ammo there because that game could have obviously gone either direction, right? I believe there was like missed field goals and stuff like that. That game could have gone either way. So he's telling them, you guys, Ohio State will beat your ass next time you guys play. Like he's telling them that. Like listen, like we've gotta be better. Problem is I don't think Alabama's as good as Ohio State. I don't even think it's close. And when I say close, I don't mean like 3 touchdowns close. I mean like I think Ohio State. I just, for whatever reason, it feels like Alabama under Kalen DeBoer has been so less consistent than Alabama was under Saban. It just feels like you don't know who you're going to get every week.
I will say, we forget this, but the best win of the year is Indiana's win over Ohio State.
No, I agree. Yeah.
The second best win of the year is Alabama on the road at Georgia.
I agree. And both by,
something's
24-21.
So,
yeah,
well,
you're right.
But
Georgia got better this year.
Discard this Alabama team as if they haven't proven anything, and they stumbled. They were limping into the playoff. But the last 3 quarters, especially the second half of that game against Oklahoma, and I think we can say like that's a team that can win this game.
Don't you think Georgia was, from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, grew in all of our minds as like, wow, yes, Georgia's now a legitimate contender. And at the beginning of the year, I don't think we thought that.
Well, that's a lovely segue.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. Georgia's always in the conversation.
That's a lovely segue to talk Sugar Bowl, nightcap, New Year's Day, Ole Miss, Georgia, the rematch. We saw this game back in October, I think it was. Ole Miss was up 10 in the fourth quarter until they weren't. 11, thank you. Yeah. Georgia pulled away and won by 8. The Dawgs are a 6.5 point favorite in this game in New Orleans. The over-under is 56.5, which feels very high. I am concerned about Ole Miss's defense, just candidly. I think the offense is obviously very crisp. But Felder says, what defense? Felder, I will let you start here. You were critical of what Ole Miss may or may not be bringing to the Tulane game. I think you picked Tulane to upset the Rebs. So what did you see from Ole Miss in the first round, and do they have a shot against Georgia?
They're focused, man. Like I love their focus. I hate it for Pete Golding that some of his players live like in the same neighborhood as him. But as a team, they really
trust me. We already did this, Roddy.
You didn't like the statement? What happened?
It was. We had a whole argument over this.
Like hey man, I'm sorry that they moved into your neighborhood, dude. But they
you can have them players rousing rabble in my neighborhood, my country club neighborhood.
Yeah, man. You told me these guys are in the country. They're about at the country club that I live at.
Hey man, I don't want them guys in my country club. I don't want to see y'all fools. Like that is my space. Y'all go move somewhere else.
I need y'all to go out there and win football games.
I need y'all to be the hell away from me when I'm not in the building.
Get in
see you.
Get in your Hellcat. Get your Scat Pack. Be away. Be over there.
And turn that dang music down.
Yep.
Honestly, if these kids moved in my neighborhood, I'd be the same way. What are these kids doing in here? These kids the hell out of here. I'm trying to have a nice night.
But the fire pit.
You're leaving stuff at the fire pit, not cleaning up. Look, when Pete Golding said that, I think I get what your issue.
What
is
I'm
with
getting at, yeah.
These guys don't need to be living where I'm living. They don't need to be getting paid what they're getting paid. My take on it was the other way. Like, I don't want young people in my neighborhood either. I want families with kids and people that act responsibly.
I get that.
And when their kids become teenagers, you want them to move to another neighborhood.
Exactly, and there you go.
I feel the same way. Yeah. I teach middle school. When I see a middle school kid, the hair on my back stands up. I'm like that dude in Stranger Things, man. I sense it. Like it's bad.
Yeah. No, I just think Georgia, when Georgia has the opportunity to put the paws on you, you're in trouble.
Yeah. And they played a lot better as of late defensively.
So they've already played Ole Miss once, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they beat him 43-35? I don't know. I don't remember that game, so I don't remember.
Yeah, they beat him by 8. Ole Miss jumped up and was up. Georgia had to score 17 points in the fourth quarter. They outscored Ole Miss 17-0 in the fourth quarter to be able to win that game.
You know how many punts Georgia had in that game, by the way? You remember how many times they had to punt it?
Not off the top of my head. 0.
Not once.
That's what I was going to say.
So what was it, turnovers in that game then that Georgia had? Okay.
Turnovers on downs.
Georgia has the worst worst passing offense and I like Stockton. He's fine. But they have the worst passing offense in the whole thing, in the whole tournament.
Yeah, but Wayne, here's what I'm going to say. I don't know that there's – I mean, with the exception – I will say with the exception of probably, I guess, Indiana, I don't know that there's a team that gets down with their quarterback the way that Georgia does.
So this is what's great about this, because I pointed it out earlier. Indiana doesn't have the greatest passing stats either. Neither does Oregon. But
this is a down year.
But when you can run the football, and your quarterback doesn't make mistakes, and you just nailed it. I love what you just said. When your quarterback is a guy that you go to battle for,
right?
Where you know the teammates, and I know they all say they do. Like we talked about Carson Beck earlier. I think Steven talked about like the way the teammates maybe didn't always get along with him, and I've made it a point on my show to talk about like how there's two different types of quarterbacks. There's the type of quarterback that walk into the building and act like they're better than everybody else. And I don't know if you guys have ever played with those guys before, but they're like most people don't like them. But there's other quarterbacks that are like they're going to go have drinks with the offensive linemen. Like they're out there,
right.
Being a guy, being a teammate. And I feels like Stockton's that guy, right? He feels like he's a teammate, and they love him. I mean, he's not the most. I hate using this phrase. He's probably not the most talented guy, but the way that Kirby Smart coaches, it feels like he creates this quarterback position. Doesn't have to be a 5-star guy. Right. It's a guy that's going to be a quarterback for the type of football we play, and it feels like he fits that.
Yeah. And the thing is, he's made high leverage throws though in big time situations. You look at that Tennessee game, and they were like, "Hey, look, we're going to make." Sorry if you guys hear the leaf blowers in the background.
You're good.
But they're like, "Hey, we're going to make Gunnar Stockton beat us," and he did.
Yeah. Yep.
I think his ability to run and escape pressure is massive for this Georgia offense, and he is a part of the run game because he will pull it on some zone read stuff. So, I have a tough time seeing how Ole Miss stops them consistently.
Yeah.
If they can create turnovers, I do think that Trinidad Chambers and that offense will have some success against Georgia, but this is a Georgia defense that's better than it was when they played before.
Well, and again, Ole Miss worst defense in the tournament. By the way, I wasn't insulting Gunnar Stockton. That was a huge compliment.
Yeah. No.
People said that about Troy. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think we all get that. Like, we all understand that you weren't insulting him. You're saying that, yeah, he's not the most talented guy, but he's the guy in that locker room that I think that I'll put it this way, because Stephen Hartzell already broke the seal, so let's just do it. They fuck with him. That team fucks with him.
That was a big one. That was a big one. You took a crow hop on that one.
The defensive linemen, the offensive linemen, the defensive linemen, even like in Roddy and Wayne, get in here, tell me if I think the DBs fuck with them. And if you're a quarterback and the DBs rock with you, come on, what does that mean?
I think when you are the quarterback of the University of Georgia and you pull up in a pickup truck and get out with your country music blaring, I think that sends a different signal than a quarterback of the University of Georgia who rolls up in something else that feels a little bit more flashy. I'm not throwing stones at Carson Beck now. But I feel like
just a little bit, like a pebble.
Yeah, exactly.
A pebble.
I think that you have to be, based on who that offense is and who that program is, you got to be a certain type of guy. There's a reason that Jacob Eason wasn't successful when Stetson Bennett was. Some of that's the players around him, but some of that's also like Stetson Bennett was the mailman. Like he was one of them dudes. There's a reason Gunnar Stockton succeeds there, and it's because he's one of them dudes.
This grabs all the way back to what Felder was talking about with culture in a program. He fits your culture.
100%.
He's like
Will he play in the NFL?
Quarterback needs to be an extension of your coach and their personality. Usually, if those guys don't do that, it's not as good.
Does not mean a highly rated guy can't do that. I mean, Gunnar Stockton was a highly rated guy.
Yeah.
He was just a highly rated guy that also fits all of the things that Georgia is about. Toughness.
He's from North Georgia.
He's balding. He's
he's basically from Tennessee, but yes, way
First
up
of all,
there.
we don't.
Yeah.
Also, wait, we don't need just because you have a lot of.
Maybe that's the part that touches North Carolina.
Well, he's a college kid. I mean,
Roddy's got a great hairline. Wayne's got good hair. Hartzell's got good hair. I don't have hair. Okay, so you're touching on a nerve right now.
Man, it's tough.
It's tough. It is what it is.
Rabun County touches North Carolina, not Tennessee.
Yeah, it's okay. I wasn't going to correct you. You're
should've.
fine. No, I'm not. Listen, man, I'm here to pick my people up, not to bring them down.
Since we talked about quarterback play, though, we like Trinidad Chambliss. I do.
Love him.
I think he's really good.
I like Trini.
He's very good.
When they spin it around the field, I mean, this is an offense. We keep talking about ranking. This is as good as they get. Ole Miss has the number 1 offense in the tournament. As far as and I know it's heavy throw, but it's not like they don't run the football.
No, Keelan Lacey's been awesome.
They've been really good. So this is legit. I mean, this is a team. Did they beat? Yeah, they beat Oklahoma at Oklahoma. Ole Miss did.
It's their signature win.
So it scored 34 points. So I don't know, man. I think big time offense has a fighting chance. I just hate the fact that they're playing against Kirby in Georgia, and I hate the fact that their defense isn't very good.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, Georgia, let's not forget, kind of like Oregon last year, they got embarrassed a little bit last time they were here. And I know that's got to be, just lighting a fire under Kirby and that staff, the way things went against Notre Dame last year.
I want to know what the other two guys think, because we should have talked about this against Oregon too. Ole Miss, coaching change. Georgia's solid. Oregon has a ton of stuff going on with their coaches, coordinators, and people that are kind of doing 2 jobs at the same time. I hate this about college football. I wish there was a way to change the calendar where coaches weren't coming and going. I think Oregon even has a player or 2 that are in the rotation it's saying they're entering the portal. Like, some of that stuff is happening. I'm curious what you think about, how much does the Ole Miss coaching issue, or even Oregon, affect these games?
I think it's a major distraction for Oregon's coaches. Major distraction, because those are 2 guys that are taking over their first head coaching jobs while trying to be great coordinators.
I agree.
There's a reason Ryan Day took the play calling away from Brian Hartline. Yeah. And Brian Hartline's going to be the head coach at South Florida. Yeah. It's his first head coaching job. I would too. You are distracted in a way that you don't even know, because I know what it takes to be a head coach. You don't. Right. You are trying to figure it out.
With the portal like a week away, less than a week away.
You are
January 2nd, baby. Yeah. Friday.
You ain't figuring it out and calling plays on my dime. I do think that plays a part into
I do too.
Into these coaching staffs.
So, Rodstra, I want you to open up the picks here. You went 3-1 in the opening round, and your one miss, frankly, was Oregon minus 21.5. That was the right side. It was just, the back door was open, and JMU was like, we'll walk through that. So, for the season, I mean, you've clawed your way back to respectability, but fire away here. Sides, totals, everything's on the board.
Your way back to respectability.
Well, for the season, I mean, just for transparency, Roddy is 90 and 97 overall.
It's true.
7 games below 500, but that's a large sample size. So there are 4 games coming up in the CFP quarterfinals.
My sucking is verified by a large number of picks.
You don't suck. Trust me. Sucking would be like if you were like 20 games below 500, you're 7. You're fine. You're thriving. So come on, you're hot. 3-1 in your first round.
All right.
What you got?
So we're gonna make maybe not a ton of picks, but we'll make some. I will take the
There's
under.
Only 4 games.
I would take the under in the Miami Ohio State game.
It's like 42.5.
42. Hang on, Hartzell. I'm doing it. I'm going to do what I do for our show all the time. I'm doing it right now. I will verify.
I already told you what it was.
Well, guess what?
People get loose with spreads. Felder is the authority on the number.
Do you know about double blind experiments, Roddy?
Yes, I know about double blind experiments. Is this what's happening right now?
41.5.
Thank you for confirming.
You're right.
Please
listen. Check your work.
Please proceed,
Wayne, you know,
Roddy.
you got a right of proof.
I will also take Miami plus the points in this game.
9.5.
I think those two things.
Points.
I think those two things go hand in hand. I think it's low scoring, and thus I think Miami covers.
Okay.
That's
although
I
could see I could see a 20-10 game where the under hits and Miami
what's
doesn't.
the
cover, which would be tough.
over or under 2 interceptions for Carson Beck?
Under.
Ooh,
Does he throw any?
I see. Listen. You guys are
Maybe.
getting deep in there. I'm not a DraftKings guy.
I think it matters. I just think that's going to be the matchup.
If I said who throws more interceptions, Carson Beck or Julian Sayin, who has more turnovers, what would you say? Carson Beck.
Yeah,
Carson Beck. Yeah.
I actually think Julian Sayin turns the ball
because
over
of the
more.
pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say this: that the one thing I love about Sayin that could cost him, because UCLA, believe it or not, had a decent secondary this year. I know no one knows it because no one pays attention to a 3-9 team. He threw at least 3 or 4 passes on time, which is I love. I love quarterbacks that get rid of it on time, with blanketed coverage that if the TB just turned their head, they could make a pick. He's not afraid to throw a ball like that. So if you rush him a little bit and make him throw early, he's a very timing-based quarterback. It could with that.
Yeah, rhythm.
You're right. That's it. Good. But I also think that secondary for Ohio State is really good, and so that it's going to be that's good. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Hartzell, don't wear that shirt again.
Why? What's wrong with my shirt?
It's like it looks like it's shaking.
Oh, because of the stripes. Sorry,
Yeah.
man.
I
I
see
didn't
it
think
pretty
about that.
steady.
I see it clear. I'm just
you
saying,
can't-
like,
You can't wear stripes on TV.
Well, I'm
Or
not
I
on
can't.
TV.
No, it's
As I've been reminded of many, many times.
No,
Can
but it's
we keep it going with the Rodster picks though? I'm jotting these down.
I'll speed through this. I will take Texas Tech plus the points.
plus 2.5.
Texas Tech.
All right.
I will take
2.5.
Alabama plus the points
plus 7
against Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And I will take Georgia minus the points against Ole Miss.
What's that Georgia line?
6.5.
Minus 6.5.
That's not enough. Not enough. No confident totals with any of the other 3 games. You know.
I would lean the under in the Orange Bowl. I would lean the over in Alabama, Indiana, and I would lean the over in Ole Miss, Georgia. But I don't feel great about it.
Those are not official Rodster selections. Those are just leans for those of you keeping track at home.
Just a lean.
51-5,
The one I feel most confident about.
55-5.
The one I feel most confident about is probably the over in the Rose Bowl. I think the over hits.
Well, let's be honest. Indiana's probably going to get there on their own. Honestly,
I mean, look, if you listen to Steven, Indiana will dominate in a way that has never been seen before by man.
Is anybody picking Oregon? I kind of leaning towards Texas Tech.
I'm picking Oregon.
I'm picking Texas Tech.
I think I'm picking Texas Tech too.
Felder, who you got?
I'm so I'll start at the beginning. I'm picking Ohio State.
Okay.
Texas Tech.
Okay, I agree.
I'm picking Alabama.
I'm not.
I don't hate
Georgia.
that.
I like Georgia.
See, I think Indiana loses in the next round if Texas Tech wins. I think if it's a matchup between Indiana and Oregon, then I think Indiana goes to the national championship game.
You think Texas Tech beats Indiana?
I do.
Wow. Okay. Agree to disagree, sir. The next time we get together, it will be 2026. It's been a heck of a year. It's been a heck of a year. By the way, the transfer portal does open on Friday, so if getting those notifications and text messages and all the stuff on your phone, if that ain't for you,
JMU,
I don't know what to tell you.
JMU, come on down. Let's
They're
go.
all coming, Wayne. They're all coming. So I enjoy the future.
Don't worry, Billy Napier will save you, Steven.
He's run through the Sun Belt before, Roddy. I have talked myself into why that's a good hire, even though I know deep down it's probably not. But
why don't you think it's a good hire?
Because it's a lazy hire, man. Like why
is that a lazy hire
now?
Because you're getting tired of the replacement thing every couple years. Like you're getting.
I don't think they're tired of it.
Well, it feels that way. I mean, you just got the guy who wasn't good enough to cut it at Florida, but he has run the Sun Belt before. So I mean, there's a path here. I think it's going to be okay. Billy Napier as a personality, though, it's just not very warm. He's the opposite of Bob Chesney. He's just
Who
not
was the opposite of Kurt Signetti.
You're right. Yeah, Signetti was a bit of a wet blanket. He was. I don't know, man. We'll see. But nobody cares about JMU football. Let's be honest. We're just going to go back to our cave.
And if you do, it's important.
No.
I also want to get Felder's thoughts on the Bobby Petrino hire.
Oh, boy. You have 60 seconds.
Yeah. Roddy, I'm getting texts from my old teammates. I'm getting texts from because obviously I work for Tar Heel 24/7. I had to go outside and yell alone so that I didn't upset my family. And it's just, what are you doing? Like scumbag on top of scumbag? Like, sure, great, awesome. It's fantastic. Go for it. Do it. And then I get a text from one of my old teammates, a guy whose wedding I was in. And he's like, well, this should be pretty good. And I was like, are you a fucking idiot? My Harris Teeter, Steven, you've been to my house. You know where
I
live.
Have. Yes, I do.
Wayne, did you get my Christmas card?
Yeah, beautiful, by the way. Yes, beautiful. Beautiful family, yes.
Roddy, did I send you one?
I don't. We moved, so if
Roddy's got a new address, so we need to.
I got to get the new address. So I can
have to get closer to the studio.
I do too. I texted him. He didn't reply.
We're further away from me.
Still mad at me.
Do you fly to the studio? Like, do you go when you do you get on a plane every time?
I fly to Bristol. Yeah.
How often?
Not often. Most of the all the college football live stuff I do from right here, this exact place.
Okay.
Because
I was going to say, when you're in studio, I was curious if you're just hopping on a plane every time.
Yeah, I miss that.
No, during the year I don't fly to Bristol. This time of year, this will be my fourth trip coming up.
They put you up in a hotel there, or do you have a place that you stay? What do you do?
No, we go to the hotel. We get to choose. Like, we can pick. There's a few different options that we pick from.
You Bonvoy guy?
No, I'm more of a DoubleTree Hilton guy because that's what's available.
Nothing wrong with it. You get a nice cookie at the DoubleTree. I mean, come on.
That's what's available in Bristol.
They do have the cookie at the DoubleTree.
Yeah, the only one that I am flat loyal to, like when we travel, two of them. I'm always National Rental Car and Delta, obviously above all.
I'm Hertz, Delta, and Bonvoy.
Cheapest.
Yeah. The thing is, the hotel. I never find the hotel benefits.
No, I didn't say that. I'm saying that for me. Like the cheapest.
I never find the hotel benefits to be worth
cheapest all the time. You don't build points.
I know. I don't.
It's like you can't. I don't know. Like the upgrade. I don't find the hotel benefits to be as good as any of the others. Like to be, executive or president circle. Like that comes with its benefits that are helpful. To be certainly, if you're flying, like whatever status you can get helps a lot. But I don't know that the status on the hotels has been enough to make me that loyal. But also, I don't get to choose most of our hotels. Like we stay where they put us. So
you better give me that water at least when I walk in.
Oh, dude, I always ask. Excuse me, may I have a water bottle, please? If you don't hand it to me.
Yeah.
May I please have a water bottle? Thank you.
True.
Can I have a couple?
To go back to
Belichick
and Petrino.
Sometimes I look at you crazy, and I'm like, look, I know how much that costs at Publix, and that's the expensive version of the generic waters that you have. Like, give me the water. Exactly. You can afford it.
Give me the water. So where I live in South Charlotte, lovely neighborhood. The neighborhood next to mine and across the street from mine, much better neighborhoods. And then if you go up more, even better neighborhoods. My neighborhood's just nice. It's fine. But I go to the Harris Teeter where all of these people go. And I've had conversations with men, women, people that graduated in 77, people that graduated in 83. And all of them have said the same exact thing to me, Roddy.
We're cooked.
Never thought they didn't say we're cooked. That's what their kids would say. But what they say is, I never thought we would become the laughing stock of college football.
Yeah.
But you were that before Bobby Petrino was hired.
Not like this. Not like this, though. That makes it worse. Come on, we all got the image. We all got the motorcycle sent to us. The picture. It was tough, man.
All I'm tough. I'm going to say. I will say this. I say this definitively. UNC does it. Winning or losing is not the problem. Winning and losing is not the problem. The problem is if they can still feel proud about being a UNC alum. And right now they don't feel that. And I think that's a bigger problem than wins and losses.
Sounds bad.
Like that's I'm being honest about like legitimately like where people are.
That's fair.
Like when I go to the pool that I go to, they've got a ton of UNC grads and they're like, this is embarrassing. And getting embarrassed and being and feeling embarrassed is worse than winning or losing. And that, look, when you grow up on Dean Smith, you grow up on Mac Brown, you grow up on Roy Williams, those are three of the guys that are like pillars of the college sports community. You throw in Anson Dorrance, you throw in Sylvia Hatchell, you throw in I can't even remember her name, the field hockey coach. It's not about the winning. It's about feeling embarrassed. And they feel embarrassed right now.
Which I understand. And yeah, I understand that. I will say they're going to be better on offense because of Bobby Petrino. Because if you look at what Bobby Petrino has done in the run game, particularly the last 2 seasons, like that man can design a run game unlike many other in college football.
And I love the way he marries the play action to the levels routes. He cuts down, we talked about half field reads, he cuts down that field for his quarterback because they run play action, and then all of a sudden you've got your low man, your mid man, and your high man, and you can do all those things. You put defense in conflict because the linebackers have to worry about the run game first, and then all of a sudden you've got something behind, over their head. You throw a 2-ball and you're ready to go. No, I agree. I also, the embarrassment these people are feeling is very real.
If he wins a few games early, people will forget. People like to win. We're a second chance country. Like, listen, the scandal was
second chance,
ago. Third or fourth.
Second chance.
Come on. We got think about what happens in college sports, you guys. Think about all the nonsense that goes on. People get opportunities if they can coach, and Petrino's proven he can coach.
He can absolutely coach 100%. Hartzell, are you guys gonna hire Sharon Moore?
Who are you guys, first of all?
Oh, my goodness. He's got to get out of jail.
I don't think Sharon Moore is getting hired by anyone other than maybe like Barstool Sports over the next
No, not even that. They wouldn't even do that. That dude's facing felony charges.
Yeah. No, he's down pretty bad. Folks, that's the show. Thank you for listening, not just to this show, but everything we've done in the calendar year of 2025. Roddy, you will be doing your thing. The Citrus Cheez-It Bowl, or is it the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl? I'm not sure, but you'll be there.
I don't know. I don't handle the sponsorship.
Michigan
Who's playing
and Texas. Great game. Great helmet game.
Actually, don't know who is playing in it.
It's a really good game. And also, I'm doing this off the cuff. FCS Natty as well. That's coming.
Yeah, it's the 5th. I'm not doing anything for it, but it's the 5th.
I thought you were on the call for that. My bad. Okay.
No, that's I believe that's Brock Osweiler and Dave Fleming are doing that.
Okay.
Illinois
State. Yep. Redbirds versus Montana State. Should be a good one if you like blowouts.
You didn't like that one?
I missed it. Sorry. What was the punchline?
I said so. They got a taller person in there.
Yes, much taller. Yeah. Like, geez, I had to do on the one of the shows that we did after the college ball playoff rankings were announced. They had Brock and I on the screen together, standing up.
Yeah, I took pictures of the screen.
Why didn't you? You should have sent it, Wayne. It was hilarious. Yeah. Well, I looked at a producer who's like shorter than me. I go, Lem, man, you making fun of me? Like, we're gonna have to fight next time you do this. Give me a box. Shoot me. I need you to give me a box, 2 boxes, and shoot me from the waist up.
Yeah,
because even then I'll be 5 inches shorter.
Go from here.
5 inches shorter than Brock. Like Jordan Rogers and Acho get to stand next to each other. I stand next to one of those guys happily.
Right.
I mean, they're tall. They're not Brock Osweiler. Brock is 6'8".
Yeah,
Brock is tall as hell, man.
He's stupid tall.
Yeah, I know he is.
Great dude. But bro, this is the biggest. I looked at Brock and go, this is the biggest difference in height for football analysts that we've ever seen at this company.
Because you're 5'8". He's a
bro,
foot
I'm
taller than you.
I'm almost 5'10", bro. You got to chill.
Yeah.
You said
5'8".
almost. You said almost.
5'9" and some change with them shoes on, man. You better come correct.
No, you know what? We're gonna take a picture at ACC Media Days. We're gonna take a picture side by side.
Bro, when I put them Hokas on, I might be 5'10".
Hokas.
Wow! Shout out to Miller Yoho. You put the you got the Roddy. We're gonna take a barefoot picture at ACC.
No, man.
Bro, I ain't taking my shoes off.
Don't do that. That's disgusting. That's gross.
You take your shoes off. I ain't taking my shoes off. Shoes stay on. And I got nothing to prove to nobody. Felder.
I'm not taking my shoes. I'll keep my shoes. We'll do shoes on. We'll do shoes on.
What's the?
Are you trying to say that you're taller than me? Or
yeah,
not
Felder, you are taller than Roddy. You don't need to measure. We already know this. You're taller, not by much, but you are taller.
And I'm almost 5'10".
Yeah, both things can be true here. You can be 5'10".
Almost it is.
Roddy can be almost 5'10". I mean, he's right there, man. He's right there. He's right there.
Roddy, are you taller than Steven?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't know.
I got Roddy by like half an inch, dog.
Here's the thing, Felder. Here's the thing. I don't compare myself height wise to other people. I don't need to. I don't need that in my life.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't
I'm
matter.
almost 6'4", and the only thing it's good for is getting stuff off the high shelf. Otherwise, I'm just going to die.
Wayne, get the hell out of here, man. That's not true.
That's why I got a 6'1" wife.
You tall people, you tall people.
There are statistics.
People move out of the way. People listen to you more. Now you don't have to develop the personality that we do.
At a concert, you can see over people.
You can see over people. People just throwing themselves at you your whole life. Like, you know how hard I have to work to get it. Had to work, and my wife now.
Personality. Your personality is 6'10".
It had to be Wayne.
Looks are at least 6'2". I mean, come on. Yeah.
Nobody cares about looks when they're looking down. Oh, that's a cute person down there. Yeah, but I'm funny as hell.
Oh, you did the hand thing too? Right? Oh, yeah. No, I mean, look, I'm not tall. I tell my parents this all the time because I was like, what were y'all doing? Why didn't you get a taller wife? Why didn't you get a taller husband?
I had someone ask me, who did I do the game with? It wasn't with Wes. It might have been with Wes. We had like a packager or something where he was like, hey, do you want to stand on a box? I almost slapped him across his face. You asked me that again. Stand on a box and stand next to Wes Durham. I ain't that short.
I'm going to tell you what.
Sorry, summer gun.
My daughter's coming up hard on you and Hartzell.
Yeah, good for her. I mean, genetics, man. Genetics.
I got a 5 foot tall 7-year-old. Let's go.
It's a good start.
Your kids are Roddy, your kids because your wife's tall too, right?
Yeah, my wife is very tall. Yeah, our kids are tall.
It matters. I have 6'2" and 6'4". My
did you say she's 5 feet tall?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Felder's kid is lanky. Good swimmer
very
too.
Tall.
All right, folks, that's the show. Happy New Year. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you in 2026. Enjoy these games, Roddy. Safe travels, buddy.
Appreciate it. See y'all.
Led by